President Flanagan, in his inaugural address as the first president of this school, talked about the distinctly American idea of education for all. During our very first orientation session in September of '64, he told us pioneers, someday you will ride by the campus, perhaps with your grandchildren, and you will be able to say, I saw this institution begin. I was part of it.
Dean Goldberg, Dean Medeiros. God, remember them like it was yesterday. Bob Henderson. Wow.
I did attend the CIC Foundry building and worked there for 3 years. Oh, it was basically in the old factory room.
I wasn't scholarship material, so I decided to apply for this, and I was one of 4 people chosen from Burrillville High School.
I did run my own security agency in Massachusetts and had undercover operatives, detectives, and I ran that for 21 years. But that was it's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week business. You do get burnt out in it.
The first full 2-year class here at CCRI started in the fall of '72 and I graduated in the spring of '74. So it's kind of interesting being the first full 2-year graduating class from this campus.
I decided to take a course here on wills and trusts. So I think this way, when I talked with an attorney, I would have some knowledge and have a better idea what we needed to do.
I spent many years in a children's home, which was kind of a blessing in disguise. You learned responsibility. And then when I went in the service, in serving in Vietnam, I got my GED diploma. And it was such an accomplishment at that time. I immediately applied to CCRI from overseas.
You know, we learned our way around when the doors opened. We were the first people in the building, and you sort of established the ways of the campus, being involved with the student government, what went on here, and how things were done. Back then, the assistant dean of students was Lucy Medeiros, Dean Medeiros, and she used to really take care of the students at that time. They used to call her Mom Medeiros because of the interest she had in all the kids. And that really made you feel like you had a home here.
I think my favorite professor who influenced me the most was Solomon A. Solomon. I just think the way he taught his class and he ran the retail management program and bringing out the positive in the retail industry was what interested me the most, and how he taught his classes.
The first exam that I took in Dan Donovan's class for wills and trusts. And I remember taking that exam, and after a number of years of not being at school, and the wheels were grinding and the rust was falling off the wheels, and I said, oh my God, I'm going to flunk this test. It was such a challenge, and he really made me think.
I do have to mention, there was one professor, Leon Bogosian, that helped me. I had 3 courses with him. He knew I was married, he knew I was a veteran, he knew I had 2 kids at the time, and he took a little extra time to help me after the class. So I got to thank you, Leon, wherever you are, and I understand he's still teaching.
Professor Orsini was in love with the poet Emily Dickinson. And Emily Dickinson is known for her sparse, concise, brief poetry. And from him I learned how to write with precision and economy and brevity and accuracy. And he was a wonderfully patient man. He edited the literary magazine. And believe me, none of us were writers, but we all look good because of him.
It was almost like a Ripley's Believe It or Not atmosphere. It was like, is this really happening? You know, are we this lucky to have this opportunity? Everyone helped each other, we studied together. It was almost like a team.
I get a lot of comments about my ring. Well, that's a nice ring you have. And I'll say, well, it's CCRI. You know, I went there and it was a great school. So basically I just try to tout the school as much as I can because I really feel this place can do an awful lot for people who really aren't sure what they want to do when they get out of high school. It's a good stepping stone to decide what you want to do in life.
I did go to a private military college for several years with small classes. and then I went to, later on, Bridgewater, then it was Bridgewater State Teachers College, and again, excellent professors. So I could compare the education at a private institution as well as a state college, and the education here was equal to superior.
The incredible dedication of the teachers, they so want the generosity and their desire for success for the school and for the students. Really, I think, without them, it would have been a different, if they were just phoning it in and not committed and in love with their subjects, it would have been a very different outcome for the college, especially that first class.
The knowledge and the education that you can learn here, I think, is the best bargain in the state of Rhode Island.
I was in the cafeteria one day, and a lot of the students here at CCRI really struggled. And I remember this one girl came by and everybody was having a little snack, and she looked kind of down and a little depressed, and come to find out, payday wasn't until the next day. She was broke, she needed something to eat. And all the students chipped in a little bit of what they had, and she was able to get something to eat.
What I tell people is, if I help you, help someone else. And that's exactly what CCRI is all about.
That night I went back home and I talked with my wife, Eileen, and that's when we started to think about setting up a scholarship here at CCRI. I
enjoy being involved with the Alumni Association, and it's a part of giving back what the school gave to me when I got my education, and it's a good program, and I like the goal that it has to reach out to the alumni and promote the school's name and keep it going.
When I was head of the Media Relations Department at the ABC Television Network, I would be inundated with requests for internships, and we would have to interview potential internships, and I can't tell you how many Ivy League students and sons and daughters of Washington politicians and governors of states that were eager to intern in our department, and of course I always looked for someone who was from community college first, and they often were the ones that got the job.
CCRI enriched my life. It obviously has provided me with a career that I have enjoyed throughout the years, and it's also provided me with what I have in my life for my family and my grandchildren and everything that I have.
I think the foundation I got here helped me to realize that anything was possible.
I think it provided me with an opportunity that I really would not have had if it hadn't been there at that time. I really don't know what direction my life would have taken. I don't think I would have had the opportunity for college, that's for sure, without the junior college. And we all know you need a college education to get anywhere.
And it really gave me focus from when I came out of high school, not sure what I wanted to do. Coming here, I was able to get myself established for 2 years, and it allowed me to focus down the road and that I wanted to go into the education field, and where I still am today.
Many years ago I saw a quote from the Civil Rights Movement. It said, "I'm not what I ought to be, I'm not what I want to be, I'm not what I'm going to be, but thank God I'm not what I was." Well, I thank God for CCRI.